also told us that in that box, reality is something that really happened. Now, can someone tell me what it says under fantasy? Serenity?
Yeah, a fantasy tells about things that could not happen in real life, like fish strokes or fishes can't drive.
No, fishes can't cook.
Good. Copy that as well. Does everyone see the board fine?
Yeah.
So right here, we're telling the differences. We're contrasting reality and fantasy. So in reality, something that really happened. So when we read stories that are true and something could really happen in real life, it's going to be a reality story. If we're reading a story of something that is not possible in real life, it's going to be fantasy. Once you finish writing that, go ahead and flip your papers back over so I know you're done. And stay quiet for me. Can someone read example 1 for us? Donna?
This is fantasy. A fish cannot drive in real life.
Does everybody agree?
Yes.
And we know why that's fantasy? Camilla, can you do example 2? Good. Now, can someone read the directions right under that for me? Taylor?
Write R if it is realistic and can happen, right? F if it is fantasy and could not really happen.
Thank you. So could someone, without reading the directions, tell us what we're going to be doing? JJ?
I'm gonna write R if it's reality and F if it's fantasy.
Good. Okay. So I'm going to give you all the directions so you don't have to ask me if we can go on to the next page because I know we're all at different paces. On the first page, there's 3 examples. Just like JJ and Taylor told us, you're going to write R or F. Cameron, please stop tapping. Depending on if you think that is reality or fantasy. And then, if you flip the papers, there's going to be 2 different passages. One on the very back of that, and one on the next page. You're going to read this silently to yourself. And the questions that they ask you is this story a realistic or fantasy story? I want you to write the word, not just R or F. Write realistic or fantasy. Number 2, could this story have really happened? I don't want you to write yes or no. I don't want you to write just yes or no. I want you to tell me why. Is it really happening or could it not? And then number 3, why do you think this? There's 5 lines for a reason. I don't want you to just write one thing. There's details in your story. I want you to underline things in your story that tell you why you think it's reality or fantasy. So you're going to have to go back to the passage for both of them to explain yourself. Anybody have any questions? Jonah? Just write F or R. I want you to try to fill this up. I don't want you to have to think, I don't know what else to say, but there's enough that you can fill up those lines. I want you to explain yourself. Tell me why it's realistic. Tell me why it's fantasy. Donna?
Can we go on the passage right now?
Yep, as long as we're done with questions. Anyone else have a question? Jackie? Pardon? Question 3 says, why do you think so? So when you tell me if it's reality or fantasy, you have to tell me why you think that. That's just one reason. Number two, you'll probably give one reason. Now I want you to elaborate and say because this, because that. Yes. I want you to try to fill it up. Those lines are there for a reason. You guys are getting some writing practice. Okay, so while you're working on that, I'm going to call on a few of you at once. Everyone listening? I'm going to call a few of you at once. Eyes on me. And when I call you, you're going to go to the reading center over here. Find a book that is either realistic or fantasy. So you can look at the title. You can open some of the pages and read a few sentences. You can read the back of the book for a little bit. I'll give you 2 minutes probably, if that works. And come back to your desk, and you're just going to place it on your desk. And once you finish with these worksheets, I want you to raise your hand, and I'll tell you what to do with those books. So it doesn't matter if it's a fantasy book or realistic. We know what to look for, right? And if you have books in your desk, I know a lot of you do, you can use those as well, if you want to. So I wanted to stay quiet like this. You can. If you do two, I want you to pick one reality, one fantasy. Number three, you're going to be explaining why you think it's realistic. So what tells you in the story that it's realistic? Did you really do those things in your life? Okay, table one, quietly place your chairs in and go and look at for a book. I don't want you to worry about the books unless I call on you. Just read your story. I'll explain myself.